up, dudes? Yo, what up, dudes and dudettes? I just got back from Southeast Asia today. I got back like 2 or 3 hours ago. I just walked up to the local bar pub by my house for a drink or two because my sleep schedule's all fucked up. I live on the West Coast in Arizona, and that's about like 12, 14 hours difference from where we were at, which was Thailand and Cambodia. And so, I don't know, I'll just briefly share this experience. We were there for 2 weeks. It was me and 3 friends, one of which left after a week. He had to go back. One of the guys I knew for a while, the other 2 I'd never met before. We all got along great. We gelled really well. Everyone was really respectful of each other's like space and privacy and everything. And as well as like whatever you want to do. Like you're in a third world country where shit's a bit different. You want to party, whatever. There was no judgment with these folks, which is really cool. I'm the same way, so it's always cool to be around people like that as well. So my back, I've been making videos since like September that are all like, I'm like feeling like suicidal or depressed or anxious, just all this negative bullshit that comes with chronic pain, man. It is what it is. I've not had it before this, and as I've said many times, I've been dealing with it since about April, and it comes in waves as far as like September might be a good month, but October might be a good month, or a bad month rather, and then within October I might have good days or bad days, or good weeks or bad weeks, or whatever. But so January 9th, which is like 2.5 weeks ago, I went to now I had scheduled this trip with this group of people back in like August when my back pain was doing a lot better, and I didn't think it was going to be any issue. And leading up to this vacation or whatever, I had been doing physical therapy for a few weeks, and my back was feeling fucking better than it has in months. Like, not good enough to play basketball or like do a lot of the shit that I used to do less than a year ago, as far as like jiu-jitsu and kickball and volleyball and tennis and all this shit. Still far from doing that, but for me now the bar has been lowered to being able to walk around and do day-to-day functions without being in debilitating pain. Anything above that is like good for me. So leading up to this trip, which is a 2-week trip, I'd been doing physical therapy for about a month, a lot of exercises, core strengthening, as well as certain kinds of stretching. And fortunately for me, the month to 3 weeks leading into our departure date, which was January 9th, I was feeling really good, man. I was feeling good as fuck. And meaning minimal pain, maybe able to walk no problem, because that has been a problem, walking upstairs. Even putting on my fucking socks and shoes at times has been an issue. But the 3 weeks leading into this trip it's a 2-week trip to Thailand and Cambodia, was feeling great. And there's obviously a lot of flight time. Like, we're coming from Arizona, which is the way we went this time, and there's multiple ways to do this, but they're all pretty similar. This time it was 3 hours to Seattle, then like 10.5 hours to Tokyo, and then from there about 6.5 hours to Bangkok. And you figure with not delays, what do you call it, layovers, it's about 24, 26 hours of travel each way. And that includes a lot of sitting down, which is not so great for L5-S1 back injuries. And but on the trip over, on the longest leg of the flight is obviously from the West Coast, whether it's Seattle, LA, or San Francisco, over to Tokyo, Hong Kong, South Korea, or Taiwan, or China is actually another one. Hong Kong and China, which are layovers frequently used for flights from the U.S., the West Coast of the U.S. over to Thailand. And my back held up great. My back was great. I hadn't taken like any pain pills or anti-inflammation medicine, and everything was great. I was there for about a week, and about 10 days into it, 8, 9, 10 days into it, I don't know what I did, but I tweaked my back, and it sucked, dude. Like, I could barely walk again. I was in a lot of pain. I was riding in a car, like just writhing around in pain. I was telling my buddies, like, hey, I might have to go. This is the worst thing. I was like, hey, I might have to go back and like just lay at the fucking hotel all day. Which is like, who the fuck wants to do that when you're you're on the other side of the world for a limited amount of time, and there's all this cool shit to see, eat, smell, do. And you're like, oh, I want to go back and lay on the floor. But anyway, I'm actually going to end this because no one's watching and I can just finish it tomorrow. Probably better because I'll be less inebriated. At this point, I've been traveling for like 30 hours. I've been drinking. What's it called? I'll finish this tomorrow. But basically, the first half of the trip was really good. I had no back pain. I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted. But the second half of the trip, I was in a lot of back pain, and that was sometimes with taking medicine and sometimes without. And I'll get into that more tomorrow and how it's going to tie into everything as far as like quality of life and whether you feel like living while having debilitating pain is even worth it. Let's talk about that more tomorrow. We'll get more into it. All right, I love you guys, and if you're in a lot of pain, don't give up. I feel for you. There's so many people. You're not alone. There's so many people out there like you. It's like the worst thing in the world. It's hell on earth, but let's stick with it together, and let's see if we can help each other. So, all right, I love you more than a friend.